1. The psychological prison of approval. Most people don't realize they're living inside a mental cage built from other people's opinions. From childhood, we're conditioned to seek validation. Parents praising us, teachers rewarding obedience, society applauding conformity. Over years, the mind begins to mistake approval for survival. You start thinking, if they don't like me, something is wrong with me. But the truth is brutal and liberating. Caring about what others think is learned behavior, not natural instinct. Humans survived for thousands of years not by being liked, but by being aware, capable, and self-reliant. When you understand that external validation is nothing but a psychological addiction, you start seeing how deeply it controls you. You dress for others, speak for others, hide your flaws for others. You stop living and start performing. The first step toward freedom is recognizing the cost of caring. Anxiety, hesitation, self-doubt, lost opportunities, and a life designed by everyone except you. Once you see the cage, you can break it. The world will always have opinions. Let them talk. Their noise has no power unless you choose to make it your compass. Your life becomes yours the moment you stop borrowing permission to exist. 2. Detaching your identity from approval. The reason people's opinions hurt you is simple. You tied your identity to their perception. When someone disapproves, it feels like they're attacking the core of who you are. But here's the reality. Identity is internal, perception is external. What they think is a projection, not a definition. Their judgment comes from their background, insecurities, fears, and lenses, not from your truth. When you detach your identity from external opinion, criticism no longer feels like a personal attack. Instead, you see it as information, sometimes useful, sometimes irrelevant. Imagine your mind as a house. Most people leave their front door unlocked, allowing anyone to walk in and rearrange the furniture. Detachment is locking that door. You decide whose voice enters. You decide what stays. When identity becomes internal rather than outsourced, you experience a radical shift. You speak freely. You take risks. You stop pleasing and start expressing. That's the version of you the world actually respects. Not the one seeking approval, but the one who is whole without it. 3. Understanding why people judge. People judge because it's the easiest form of entertainment. Judgment requires no effort, no courage, no vulnerability. It simply mirrors their own fears. When someone criticizes you, they're often revealing their own limitations, not yours. A person confident in their identity doesn't spend time dissecting others. Insecure people gossip. Empty people criticize. Confused people mock what they don't understand. Realize this: people rarely judge you for who you are. They judge you for who they fear to be. When someone says, "You shouldn't do that," what they usually mean is, "I'm afraid to do that myself." When they say, "People will think you're weird," it means, "I don't want to stand out, so you shouldn't either." Once you understand the psychology of judgment, it loses power. You stop internalizing their opinions because you finally see them as emotional reflections, not objective truths. You'll start noticing something powerful. The less you react to judgment, the more respect you gain. Silence makes you unpredictable. Confidence makes you untouchable. 4. Building a backbone of emotional independence. Most people emotionally collapse the moment they face disapproval because they've never trained their minds to stand alone. Emotional independence is the ability to hold your state of mind regardless of what others say, think, or expect. It's the psychological equivalent of standing still while the world shakes around you. You build this by practicing self-validation, acknowledging your efforts, recognizing your growth, reinforcing your worth. When your internal voice becomes stronger than external noise, you become emotionally invincible. Emotional independence also comes from understanding that reactions are choices. When someone criticizes you, Your mind automatically creates a story. They must be right. Or, what if others think the same? But this story is optional. With awareness, you can replace it. Tell yourself, their words do not define me. This does not belong to me. I choose my response. Over time, you create a mental shield. People's opinions may reach your ears, but they stop reaching your heart. And that is when freedom begins. 5. Silent power. How not reacting makes you stronger. One of the greatest superpowers in life is the ability to be unmoved. When someone tries to provoke you, what they really want is your reaction. Your reaction gives them power, relevance, and control. When you remain calm, when you refuse to give emotional currency, they lose their weapon. Not reacting is not weakness, it is dominance. It's choosing self-respect over impulsive engagement. It's mastering your emotions instead of letting them master you. People are confused by those who don't react. They become intimidated because they can't read you, can't manipulate you, can't influence your self-worth. Silence is a psychological mirror. It forces others to face themselves. When you stop reacting, the world stops controlling you. The less you respond, the more powerful your presence becomes. And ironically, the people who once tried to bother you begin to respect you, simply because your calm exposes their chaos. 6. Rewiring your self-worth. The moment you base your self-worth on external approval, you become emotionally unstable. Compliments lift you, criticism destroys you. You move like a puppet, pulled by the strings of opinion. To stop caring permanently, you must build self-worth that no one can give or take away. How? By shifting your worth from performance to presence. You are valuable because you exist, not because someone clapped for you. You are worthy because you are human, not because someone praised you. Self-worth also grows through competence. When you build skills, discipline, and personal achievements, you no longer need validation from others. Your life validates itself. Your proof is your progress. Your evidence is your improvement. When you respect yourself, you don't crave respect from others. When you trust yourself, you don't fear their judgment. The world treats you the way you treat yourself internally. And when your worth becomes unshakable, so does your life. 7. The freedom of being misunderstood. One of the most liberating truths you can accept is this: you will be misunderstood no matter what you do. You can be kind and someone will call you weak. You can be strong and someone will call you arrogant. You can be silent and someone will say you're rude. You can speak and someone will say you talk too much. Trying to control others' interpretations is a losing battle. People don't see you, they see their version of you. Once you embrace being misunderstood, you stop explaining yourself. You stop defending yourself. You stop overcorrecting your identity to fit their expectations. You begin to live for yourself, not for the interpretations of strangers. And something beautiful happens. The more authentic you become, the more you attract people who understand you without explanation. Let others misunderstand your silence, your strength, your boundaries. You were not born to be universally understood. You were born to be real. 8. Letting go of the need to impress. Many people don't realize how much energy they waste trying to impress others, buying things they can't afford, pretending to be confident, posting curated lifestyles, forcing smiles to appear likable. But the truth is simple. People are far less focused on you than you think. Everyone is busy fighting their own insecurities. No one wakes up thinking about your mistakes or failures. Letting go of impressing others frees you from one of the heaviest burdens of modern life. You begin making decisions based on authenticity, not approval. You dress how you want, speak how you want, live how you want. You become real, and real people are rare. When you stop trying to impress, you become impressive. When you stop chasing attention, you become someone worth paying attention to. The freedom that comes from being unapologetically yourself is unmatched. and it is the foundation of unshakable self-respect. 9. Choosing your own standards. Most people borrow their standards from society: what success should look like, what happiness should look like, how much money makes you valuable, what personality traits are desirable. But when you allow society to set your standards, you end up living someone else's life. To stop caring what people think, you must define your own metrics, your own version of success, your own definition of peace, your own path of fulfillment. Maybe success for you is silence, stability, a small circle, a peaceful home, or a creative passion. Maybe it's discipline or growth or impact. When your standards become internal, external opinions can no longer shake you. You stop comparing your journey to others because you no longer run their race. You run yours. And when you live by your own standards, you gain a level of clarity and confidence that makes you immune to judgment. Your life becomes self-directed instead of socially designed. 10. The warrior mindset, becoming untouchable. A person who doesn't care what others think isn't reckless. They're free. This mindset is built through daily discipline. Protecting your energy, setting boundaries, choosing silence over reaction, valuing truth over approval, and embracing solitude when needed. The warrior mindset is about living from the inside out, not the outside in. It's about choosing self-respect even when it costs you popularity. It's about developing a backbone so strong that opinions slide off you like rain off armor. When you stop caring what people think, you stop fearing life. You take risks. You grow. You evolve. You become someone who leads instead of follows. Someone who expresses instead of suppresses. True freedom is not living without judgment. It's living without being ruled by it. The day you no longer seek permission to exist is the day you begin to truly live. When your mind becomes your own, your life becomes unstoppable.
Stay informed, stay balanced, and stay strong. Subscribe to Alpha Men Unmasked for more raw, faceless truths about men's health, masculinity, and mental strength. No filters, no fluff. Just facts.